Hi, seventh graders, welcome back. Today we're continuing reviewing Unit 1. Our goal today is to describe the course and the consequence of the American Revolution. Last time we were together, we talked about how the French and Indian War changed things. After the French and Indian War, the British government began imposing increasingly stricter rules that restricted trade and taxed the colonies. And so Great Britain, one of the big outcomes of the French and Indian War, starts to enforce those mercantilist policies where the colonies can only trade with the mother country. And then at the same time, they're adding more taxes to the stuff that they're trading with the colonists. So this angers the colonists. And it leads to unrest in the colonies because the colonists are protesting against things like the Proclamation Line of 1763, taxation without representation, the harsh British punishments like the Intolerable Acts, and the forced quartering of British troops. Here's an image showing the forced quartering of British troops. Remember, quartering means that you're just housing someone. So the colonists, here's a colonist family, were forced to let the British troops come into their homes and live with them. And the colonists did not like that. Other things like the Intolerable Acts were supposed to punish the colonists for doing things like the Boston Tea Party, but it also led to more tensions and fighting between the two groups. And here we see a map showing us the Proclamation Line of 1763. The colonists resented this because they felt like they deserved the right to go into the Ohio River Valley and settle it, but Great Britain did not want them to go there because they were just trying to keep the colonists from fighting with the natives. And here's an image showing colonists fighting against the taxes. The Tea Act put a tax on tea that was purchased, stamp put a tax on paper that was purchased. And one of the main concerns the colonists had with this is that they felt that they were being taxed without given the opportunity to have a representative sent to Parliament. So they said they would pay for these taxes if they could have a say in government and be able to vote yes or no for things like taxes. So, a couple of important documents come out of this American Revolution period. The first comes during the First Continental Congress. This Congress is called during colonial period, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to respond to the tensions between the British and the colonies. And with the First Continental Congress, they send the Olive Branch Petition trying to keep the peace with Great Britain, but ultimately this fails and peace does not continue. During the Second Continental Congress, the Declaration of Independence was written, and this was written to separate the colonies from Great Britain. It argued that any people who are under an oppressive or tyrannical government have the right to rebel. So, what the colonists are saying with this document is Great Britain has been oppressing us, Great Britain has been tyrannical. Therefore, the American colonists have the right to overthrow them. They say anytime the government oppresses the people, it's no longer a government for the people. And so, with that, eventually the American Revolution breaks out. We know that ultimately the American colonists win, and so they win their independence. But there were a couple of turning points that had to happen to really turn the tide in the colonists' favor. The first was the appointment of General George Washington as the commander of the Continental Army. He was loved by the colonists, and he really helped to unite and motivate the colonial troops. He was a unifying force for the American Revolution, and by having him join as the commander of the army, he really helped to rally the troops behind him and their cause. Another turning point would be the Battle of Saratoga. This is considered a turning point. If you're doing a turning point, you're going in one direction, and then your turning point is when you turn and go in another one. So before the Battle of Saratoga, America was losing the American Revolution. We lost many important battles, but with this Battle of Saratoga, things start to turn around and America begins to win the war. And so, one of the reasons why this is a turning point is that following this victory, Marquis de Lafayette is able to convince France to join the war on America's side. And France's support in the war really shifts the balance to America's side. So without the Battle of Saratoga, it's possible that France would not have been convinced to join the American Revolution. Marquis de Lafayette is considered someone who played a really important role in the American Revolution and helped America win. So, the American Revolution, another battle that we want to remember is the Battle of Yorktown. The war ends at the Battle of Yorktown. Here, the British surrender to the American troops, and the war is won. America is officially recognized as a free and independent nation. So, we have the Battle of Saratoga, which is a turning point where the French begin to join the American side, and we have the Battle of Yorktown, where the Americans win the war. And again, as a result of this battle in the American Revolution, America becomes a free country. All right, you have some review questions. And when you are finished, you may close out. Have a great day.